What happens when the world's most quietly magnetic pop icon steps into the wilderness? Not just for the spotlight, but to redefine it. The secret to a fashion brand's explosive revenue growth wasn't a louder campaign, but a softer whisper of wind through pine trees, captured in the gaze of a global superstar. And why are fans, investors, and fashion insiders all asking the same breathless question? Did BTS's V just turn Gorpcore into the most romantic trend of 2026? The moment the images were released, timelines froze. There he stood, effortlessly serene, layered in earth-toned technical fabrics, eyes reflective like morning light filtering through forest branches. V of BTS had unveiled Snow Peak's second 2026 spring collection campaign under the evocative theme, Nature in Everyday Life with V. But this was not merely another celebrity endorsement. It was not just another seasonal drop. It felt like a quiet revolution stitched into nylon, cotton, and windproof silhouettes. And then came the numbers. Numbers that made even Wall Street lean forward. Following his appointment as global ambassador, Snow Peak reported a 16.8% rise in fourth quarter revenue. Operating profit surged by 42.6%. At the Shanghai Taekook store, sales skyrocketed by 70%. 70%. In a retail landscape often described as cautious and unpredictable, such figures were not just impressive, they were seismic. But how did a collection rooted in outdoor utility become the emotional epicenter of early 2026 fashion discourse? And how did V's presence transform technical layering into something that feels almost poetic? The campaign imagery reveals the answer slowly, like mist lifting over a quiet lake. V does not pose in the traditional sense. He inhabits the clothes. A windbreaker rests loosely over a textured knit. Relaxed cargo trousers meet urban sneakers. A soft cap shadows his eyes as he leans against a weathered wooden structure. The styling reads as Gorpcore boyfriend, but stripped of irony. There is no exaggerated ruggedness, no forced theatrics. Instead, there is an intimacy, an invitation to imagine everyday life as something gently adventurous. Gorpcore, once a niche term referencing good ol' raisins and peanuts, had long been associated with trail-ready functionality worn in urban environments. Yet in V's interpretation, it evolves. It softens. The outdoors are no longer distant terrain. They seep quietly into daily existence. A morning coffee on a balcony feels like a campsite ritual. A walk through the city echoes a forest path. The boundaries blur. This seamless blending is precisely what the campaign theme promises. Nature in everyday life with V. It is not about escaping the city. It is about carrying a sense of calm wilderness within it. Industry analysts were quick to connect the aesthetic narrative with the brand's financial upswing. Snow Peak has always held a respected position in the outdoor market, particularly in Japan, where its heritage of craftsmanship and camping culture runs deep. Yet aligning with V injected something different, something emotionally expansive. His global influence bridges continents, but more importantly, his personal image aligns with introspection, artistry, and understated charm. Observers point out that V's fashion persona has always been layered. Whether appearing at luxury fashion weeks in tailored ensembles or sharing quiet moments of music listening on live broadcasts, he projects a contemplative aura. It is this authenticity that resonates. Consumers no longer chase trends alone, they chase feelings. And this campaign delivers a feeling of stillness, of warmth, of grounded elegance. The Shanghai Taekook surge is particularly telling. Taekook, a high-profile retail destination, is known for its discerning clientele and curated brand environment. A 70% sales increase there suggests not merely fan-driven purchases, but a broader consumer awakening to the brand's repositioned identity. The images of V circulated widely across Chinese social media platforms, sparking discussions about layering techniques, fabric textures, and the understated romanticism of outdoor silhouettes worn in urban contexts. Fashion insiders describe the campaign as a masterclass in synergy. Rather than overpowering the brand's DNA, V amplifies it. Snow Peak's roots in functional design remain intact, but they are reframed through his emotional lens. The result is aspirational without being unattainable. It feels lived in. And yet, beneath the serene visuals lies the electric hum of fandom. ARMY, BTS's global fanbase, dissected each look frame by frame. What knit was he wearing? Was the windbreaker a reinterpretation of a classic Snow Peak silhouette? How many layers are too many layers when V makes them look effortless?
Question floudée de forum.
Screenshots trended. Fan edits transformed campaign stills into cinematic mood boards set against acoustic soundtracks. But this frenzy was not chaotic. It was tender. Many fans described feeling comforted by the imagery, especially amid the fast-paced, high-stress atmosphere of early 2026. In an era defined by hyperconnectivity, V's Snow Peak campaign felt like an exhale. Financial experts, meanwhile, analyzed the 16.8% revenue increase with precision. Fourth quarter growth is often influenced by seasonal factors, but the timing of V's ambassadorship provided a clear catalyst. Operating profit climbing 42.6% indicates not just higher sales, but improved efficiency and brand positioning. Investors interpret this as sustainable momentum rather than a fleeting spike. The question lingers, Can a single ambassador truly shift a brand's trajectory so dramatically? History offers precedents of celebrity influence boosting brand visibility. Yet V's case appears uniquely potent because it aligns so seamlessly with his public narrative. He has often spoken about nature, photography, and quiet reflection. His artistic sensibility, visible in his music, his social media captions, his visual storytelling, makes the Snow Peak partnership feel less transactional and more like an extension of self. Critics who initially doubted the pairing have since softened their stance. Early skepticism centered on whether a globally recognized pop idol could authentically represent an outdoor heritage brand. But authenticity does not require wilderness survival feats. It requires emotional resonance. And in campaign interviews, V spoke about finding small pockets of nature within daily routines, morning sunlight, the texture of wooden furniture, the calm of greenery in urban parks. The philosophy aligned perfectly. The second 2026 spring collection deepens this narrative. While the first campaign introduced the concept, the second refines it. The color palette leans into muted sage, sand beige, charcoal gray. Fabrics appear breathable yet structured. Silhouettes are relaxed but intentional. The layering is not chaotic, it is deliberate harmony. Fashion commentators have dubbed the look gentle gorpcore. It abandons aggressive utilitarianism in favor of warmth. The boyfriend aesthetic, often characterized by oversized silhouettes, feels protective rather than detached. When V wraps himself in layered outerwear, the image conveys comfort, as though the clothes themselves hold stories of quiet hikes and shared laughter. Social media metrics underscore the campaign's reach. Hashtags related to the collection trended across multiple regions within hours of release. Video compilations analyzing his outfits accumulated millions of views. Retail tracking platforms recorded spikes in searches for Snow Peak items associated with the campaign imagery, but numbers only tell part of the story. The emotional impact cannot be quantified so easily. Fans wrote about feeling inspired to reconnect with nature, even in small ways. Some shared photos of local parks, others styled their own gorpcore-inspired outfits for daily errands. The campaign transcended commerce. It sparked micro-movements of mindful living. Industry strategists note that modern consumers crave narrative cohesion. They respond to campaigns that tell a story rather than push a product. In this case, the story is intimate, a global icon inviting audiences to slow down. Yet, even as the campaign exudes calm, the retail implications are anything but quiet. A 70% surge in Shanghai Taekook suggests immediate purchasing action. Store managers reportedly saw increased foot traffic, with customers specifically requesting items worn by V in promotional images. Visual merchandising adjustments were made to highlight layered ensembles reminiscent of the campaign styling. Investors have begun to speculate whether Snow Peak's international expansion will accelerate further under this ambassadorial partnership. With revenue and profit metrics climbing, the brand appears poised for strategic growth in Asian markets and beyond. There is also the question of longevity. Can this aesthetic sustain momentum through multiple seasons? Analysts argue that its strength lies in adaptability. Nature in everyday life is not a fleeting concept. It is timeless. As urban environments continue to evolve, the desire for grounding elements persists. In interviews surrounding the campaign, these words echoed the imagery's serenity. He spoke softly about appreciating simple moments. He described clothing as a medium that can influence mood. When I wear something comfortable and connected to nature, he suggested, I feel more myself. That authenticity radiates. Fashion historians may look back on early 2026 as a turning point when gorpcore matured from ironic trend to emotional lifestyle statement. And V's Snow Peak campaign will likely be cited as a catalyst. Still, curiosity hums. What comes next? Will subsequent collections explore deeper seasonal narratives? Could collaborations expand into limited edition capsule lines co-designed by V?